But some of the things I was reading and some of the things I've been thinking about, I'll just throw out some ideas and hopefully people will find it interesting. As Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas are very broad-minded, and Gaudiya Vaishnavas are also very particular. You could almost say narrow-minded in a sense, both. Krishna consciousness is for everyone, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is so big and broad that he encompasses the entire creation. So worship of Krishna is a very broad thing, a very big thing, and a very open thing for everyone. But Gaudiya Vaishnavas are also particular. We kick out all sorts of useless and detrimental philosophies. We reject all sorts of, we don't reject materialistic persons as practitioners of Krishna consciousness, but we reject them as leaders, we reject them as objects of worship, we reject worship of the demigods, and we don't reject all the different avatars, but our focus is on an avatari, Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of all avatars. Ete Chamsa Kalapam Sam Krishna's Tu Bhagavan Swayam. That all of the avatars are expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So primarily we focus on Krishna, we worship Krishna. And even more specifically, we prefer Krishna in Vrindavan even over and above Krishna in Gokul, Krishna in Dwarka, Krishna in Mathura. But at the same time, all of the Vishnu Tattva are worshipable because they're no one but our supreme worshipable Lord Krishna. Ramadi Morteshu Kalani Tishan, Lord Ram, and all the avatars. Gaudiya Vaishnavas who worship Krishna, we see the avatars and we see our Lord Krishna in another form. But still, Krishna is our focus. Therefore, the history of worship of Lord Narasimha in ISKCON is very interesting in that respect, I think. Prabhupada specifically introduced it himself and taught the Narasimha prayers, pranam mantras to his devotees. I think the first time was when he first fell ill and he was recuperating and he was teaching it to the devotees. So, again, our focus is on Krishna. We accept all the Vishnu Tattva avatars. But the worship of Lord Narasimha is the only avatar worship that is, you could say, institutionalized within ISKCON because of that push by Srila Prabhupada. At first, the prayers were chanted for Prabhupada's personal health, that he could recuperate and go on pushing on this movement. And then it became a regular facet of the ISKCON program, the ISKCON worship, because Prabhupada needed protection for his health at that time, but all devotees need protection, all living entities need protection, and this ISKCON movement needs protection, so therefore Prabhupada instituted this. There's one story when Prabhupada was recovering after his stroke or whatever it was, and he was staying with some devotees, and in the rented house they were staying, there was a piano, and the piano was like turned around and pushed up against the wall. And Prabhupada wanted to play it one day because it's a keyboard just like a harmonium. So they pulled it from the wall and turned it around, and when they pulled the piano out, the devotees heard something like fall to the ground with a crash behind the piano. Prabhupada said, "What is that?" So one devotee, Kirtan Ananda went behind and pulled it, and there was a framed painting wrapped in a cloth. And they unwrapped it, and it was Lord Narasimha killing Hiranyakashipu. And Prabhupada said, who did this? Wrapped it up and hid it like that. And it was Mother Janaki. She said, I saw it, and it was so gruesome and bloody. I didn't think it was appropriate. You're trying to relax and recuperate your health. I didn't want this, gruesome, bloody, horrific scene. And Prabhupada explained, no, you don't understand. This is glorious. That the Lord comes to save his devotee, to protect his devotee. And there's that Bhagavatam verse that even saintly person takes pleasure when a poisonous scorpion is killed or a poisonous snake is killed with their doses. So this function of Krishna, that he comes in this amazing form to protect his devotees, this is something so important for us that we, take advantage of. And the way Prahlad related to this whole pastime and to Lord Nrsimhadev is also such a wonderful example for us. The seventh canto, Prabhupada would give class on it so often, disproportionately often compared to most other parts of the Bhagavatam, and he would quote from it so much. So it's such a rich pastime with so much to give us. Like I said, it's not time for a class, but I'll read the verse that I was going to discuss and say just a couple of words about it. We know Prahlad Maharaj, he's particularly famous. We all know Shravanam Kirtanam Vishno Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedam. This is Navalakshana Bhakti, the 9 characteristics of bhakti. The way bhakti is expressed is through these different things, hearing, chanting. But a little later on in the Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj also gives us Sat-anga Bhakti. He gives us a description of 6 processes of bhakti. And this is at the very end of the beautiful prayers after Hiranyakashipu was killed. And as we saw in the play, the demigods are there, but they're freaked out and scared. So Lord Brahma pushes Prahlad forward, and Prahlad offers these amazing prayers. And this is the very last verse of the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. Tate Ratama Namastuti Karma Puja Karma Smritis Charanayosh. Wrong verse. Tate Ratama Namastuti Karma Puja Karma Smritis Charanayo Shravanam Katayam Samsevaya Tvai Vineti Sarangaya Kim Bhaktin Jana Paramaham Sagato Laveta. So Prahlad Maharaj concludes his prayers. Therefore, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all persons to whom prayers are offered, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Because without rendering 6 kinds of devotional service unto you, offering prayers, dedicating all the results of activities, worshiping you, working on your behalf, always remembering your lotus feet and hearing about your glories, who can achieve that which is meant for the Paramahamsas? So first of all, what is it that's meant for the Paramahamsas? Devotional service to Lord Krishna. And these 6 things, Sat-anga Bhakti, 6 limbs of Bhakti, are necessary. Who can attain it without taking these up? So like I said, there's Navalakshana Bhakti that we're all familiar with. But these 6 items of these are more items of sadhana Prahlad is mentioning that are essential if we want to attain the goal of the Paramahamsas, like the goal of Prahlad Maharaj. Paramahamsa Prahlad. And what are they? Nama, Tate Ratama Nama. The first is offering obeisances to the Lord. Stuti, offering prayers to the Lord. Puja, worship of the Lord. Karma, all of your work for the Lord. Smriti Charana, remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. And Shravana Katha, hearing the pastimes, the talks about the Lord. So all these 6 things are essential for attaining that which the Paramahamsas attain, devotional service to Lord Krishna. And if we look at the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj, we can see how his life perfectly exemplifies this so nicely. Again, there's short time, so I won't go through the whole history. But like at the very beginning, when Hiranyakashipu goes away, actually first there was Hiranyakashipu came, and he was very fighting with the demigods. And then he went away to perform austerities to get even more powerful. And of course we know he was standing there on his toes with his fingers pointing up and looking up at the sky. And he did it for so long that an anthill developed around his body and ate the flesh off of his body, and he was maintaining his life just within his skeleton, basically. And anyway, Lord Brahma came, yes, what do you want, offered benedictions, and we heard it before. What is this? Nantarva here, Diva Naktam, Anyasmara Pichayudai, Navmo Nambare Mrityur, Nanarar, Namrigarapi. Let me not be killed, Nantarva here, inside or outside, not in the day, not in the night, not by anyone else or by any weapon, not on the earth, not in the air, and not by any man, and not by any animal. So, while this was going on, because he was away, Hiranyakashipu, the leader of the demons, was away, all of the demigods thought this is our time to fight back. So they started fighting, and they fought with the demons and were defeating them. And the demons were so cowardly when they were being defeated, they ran away, and they even ran away, leaving all their women and their wives and their children behind, not even protecting them, just trying to save their life. So there was Kayadu, the pregnant wife of Hiranyakashipu, left alone and unprotected. Lord Indra arrested her, and they were thinking of killing her, and they thought, well, she's pregnant, we'll keep her, and we'll kill her son, who's obviously also going to be a demon when he comes out. But then Narada Muni came and explained, no, don't do that. This woman is blameless, and this son is not only blameless, but is going to be a great Mahajan, a great devotee of the Lord, so don't do that. So Narada Muni took him back to his ashram, and while he was there, what's going on in Narada Muni's ashram? Spiritual instruction, Krishna Katha. So he was speaking, and Kayadu was hearing. Her retention was not very good. Understandably, she was in a lot of anxiety about her husband and the war, and here she was, just her life was threatened, and the life of her son was threatened. So she didn't retain it very well. But Prahlad, although he was in the womb, he received this vibration and he heard it. And this is Shravana Katha. He's hearing the Katha of Lord Vishnu, of Lord Krishna. He's hearing it. So he's performing this so perfectly that even in the womb, he's hearing it and remembering it and retaining it. And after he's done hearing, he's remembering it. He's constantly meditating on these instructions of Narada Muni, constantly remembering Krishna, who Narada Muni has described it. This is Smriti Charana, constantly remembering the lotus feet of Krishna. And then he's born, and the whole history develops with Hiranyakashipu and the fight with him and Prahlad. And Prahlad was so threatened and so disturbed, and even to be killed by his father, but that his hearing and his remembering, Smriti Charana, his remembering of the lotus feet of the Lord, was never broken for an instant. He was constantly worshiping the Lord within his heart. Everything, just like we saw in the play. You offer him poison, he's going to offer it to the Lord. He's going to offer everything. Every work he does, he's in school. He's not wasting his time in school. He's preaching to his classmates. So this is karma. All of his work is devoted to the Lord. All of his remembrance and hearing is devoted to the Lord. All of his worship is devoted to the Lord. And then stuti, prayers, all his beautiful prayers at the end of this pastime, also devoted to the Lord. And nama. Nama means obeisances. Just getting down, just laying your body down, flat on the ground. This is a good thing. This is a great thing. But this is not all of what it means to offer obeisances. That laying down on the ground is emblematic of your surrender to Krishna. You're on the ground because you're placing yourself in the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. This is what Nama means. That you put yourself completely under Krishna, completely beneath Krishna. As long as you think yourself, I'm big, I'm important, yes, Krishna has a place in my life, but, it's really about me. Then you can't really do Nama, you can't really do obeisances properly. But Prahlad Maharaj did obeisances properly. He put himself completely under Krishna, and because of that, he was completely under Krishna's protection. Prabhupada would often criticize the idea in many religions, especially the Abrahamic religions, that God is the Father. He would say God, just like one time he was in Ohio State, preaching to students there with, what's the beat poet's name? Ginsberg, Allen Ginsberg. And he said, people are praying, "Our Father who art in heaven, give us this day our daily bread." Prabhupada said, this is not love of God, this is love of bread. So, and the audience loved it, they cheered. But Nama means, I'm sorry. So this is not real love of Krishna. That Krishna is the Father because the child goes to the Father. Give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. But Prahlad, so our idea in Gaudiya Vaishnavism of Vatsalya Ras is generally that Krishna is the child and the devotee is the father because the devotee wants to care for Krishna. But Prabhupada says particularly about Prahlad that he was in Vatsalya Ras feeling himself as Krishna's child, as Lord Nrsimhadeva's child, but without all the material desires of the normal materialistic idea of God as the Father. So he was in Vatsalya Ras as the child, and Lord Nrsimha was the father protecting him. And he described that after the whole pastime was over and Prahlad offered his prayers, that Lord Nrsimha picked up Prahlad and was licking him, just like a mother cat. If you've seen a mother cat with kittens, you're licking the kittens. So he was perfectly exemplifying this Vatsalya Ras. So in that way, all these things are going on. Nama, offering obeisances. Stuti, offering prayers. Puja, worshipping the Lord. Karma, devoting all your work to the Lord. Smriti Charana, constantly remembering the Lord's lotus feet. And Shravana Katha, always hearing about Krishna. And Prahlad Maharaj exemplifying that with every moment of his life. We have 3 or 4 minutes. Any discussion, or anyone want to throw something out or say something? Hare Krishna. Yes? You.
Okay. You mentioned Nrsimhadev and protection, and that Prabhupada suggested we chant Nrsimhadev mantras for protection. I was also reading today in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada said that, but then I was thinking, what does that actually mean? Because we see devotees get in car accidents, suddenly leave their bodies, or whatever, and so it's hard to understand what protection actually means.
Good, very good question. I'll answer this the way my spiritual master answered this question. Not from me, but I was present. And he said, yes, he's saying that we pray to Lord Nrsimhadev for protection. So what does this mean to ask Krishna for protection? Is that something?
Yeah, because we're still in the material world.
Right, so what does that protection mean? So what we sometimes we may pray, anything you're going to pray, you should pray to Krishna. Akarma Sabra Kama Moksha Kama Vidari. So if you're going to pray to Krishna. But we don't want to pray too much like Hiranyakashipu. Oh, Krishna, protect me. Protect me that I don't die in the day. Protect me that I don't die in the night, that I'm not killed by any man. We don't want to pray exactly like that, because Krishna has designed the material world, that is Padam Padam Yadvi Padam. He's designed it that it's not a safe place. So the material protection may or may not be there. Even Prabhupada suffered material setbacks. He was preaching in Delhi before he came to America. He was gored by a bull in the street, and he had to deal with his illness at the end. So you can say, oh, he wasn't protected. That's not what we mean by the protection of the Lord. The protection of the Lord means protecting our people of devotional service. Our faith and our practice is what we ultimately want to be protected. And that we can be sure He'll protect us. Due to our karma and the nature of the material world, our bodily situation may or may not be protected. And if it is or it isn't, it doesn't necessarily harm or hurt our devotional service. So we're more concerned that we want the protection of our devotional keeper. There's little time, so that's a little answer. I think it's anything else super short, or do we just break for RT now? Yes? Who are you? What's your name? Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yes. Yes, and that's almost the same question. Krishna protect me, Krishna maintain me. So that's the prayer, but again, it may not guarantee material bodily protection. It may not guarantee financial protection. It may not guarantee medical protection. But what we should pray for and what will be guaranteed is the spiritual protection of our devotional service. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.